Right, it's the 3rd of June 2024 and the government are going for fucking goal, I tell you. Last night was very nasty. It's the roughest night since I've been there. Since Matty got evicted. So someone's coming in one of the flats. I can't quite make sure which flat it is. It sounds like it's... Unless there's a new neighbour that's moved in, I do not know. But when I pass Shannon's flat, it seems to be coming from the other side. But the thing is, Matty's not there. So, but obviously things echo in that building. Either way, there's one section of the night where someone shouted in the corridor saying, "I'm going to fucking smash you in, Justin, and take you out with a fucking knife." And it got fucking nasty. So I was not very happy, and I went down to investigate because I wasn't very happy. Believe me, I was not happy. So we had a load of fucking threats like that, anything from smashing your fucking head around like a fucking rugby ball to kicking all your fucking teeth out to saying that you're a child rapist and woman beater and fucking this and that, just on, and going to inject you with HIV. And then this banging in sequence threats like, "I'm doing this and doing this," in the same way it was being done when Matty was there, was extremely bad as well. You're looking at no less than 300 bangs, and this is loud banging. Door slam, like the door wants to be fucking ripped off its hinges. It was a very bad fucking night. In actual fact, it's a possibility that Matty could be visiting the building, or some of his mates that visited him are visiting the building. So this is why I had to be prepared when I went down to investigate the situation on several occasions, because I wanted to see who was doing it, because I was not very happy. The loud bike issue last night went up to about 900 loud bikes tied to an erection. It was definitely at least 800. It's the same this morning. The loud bikes are very bad this morning. So about 50 this morning. That's 50 in just a short time period I've been awake. And same issue going to the toilet. Opening my windows timed as a loud bike timed, and it's also the hottest it's been in my flat this year since I put the blinds up. You're looking at 28.5 degrees Celsius. So it is very hot. Right, as I leave my place, firstly it's dog bark, sick cunt, knife you dead just. You're having a break-in. You're having a break-in threats from outside. 2, breaking in, Justin. You're losing all your fucking stuff, lost everything. Then obviously we have the loud bike issue, which is 9 times to what's on this sheet, but it's roughly about 50 in total. As I walk out, we've reached a stage where we've had a knife-shaped car, not a 1940s bullet looking, but they're using that type of car where, and they're doing it on a regular basis. It's not saying that's now and again. This is happening nearly every single time I go out, especially in the last 10 days, where they need to time that edge looking or that bullet fucking shaped car of a 1940s car, which is almost say like you see 1 in a million type cars, if you get what I mean. But they're doing it every fucking day at the moment, and they're doing it again today. And then a sick white car, someone photographs me, and 1 mild threat, and then obviously whatever comes from here. Right, there's no rest for the fucking wicked, but they've reversed it on me. So they're obviously hitting drains over. John BT Smash Blood van. That's a new van name. Black and blue cars. Sick cunt being knife dead said. And just basically a flow of that sort of vehicles at the moment. Roughly about just under 200 cars to this minute in time. Right, so I just walked into a lookalike to someone who sexually abused me as a child. Quite literally an identical looking type person. But it doesn't stop there, because that person walks past me, threatening to bash me and saying I'm a sick cunt, basically. Shag da said, blue, red, grey, timed. Death, skull and bones top in my direction. Been more motorbikes to erections, to an itchy bumhole, Dracula cabs, grey car, grey blood, blood flying everywhere t-shirt. A young lady aged about 23, 3 children already on a buggy, gets on the bus. Grey, sex sexual, bonus, loud bike, and about 50 to 80 cars, 90% set up for suggestion. Right, there's been a spiteful load of setups since I got off the bus. Well, firstly, grey, blue, sick, grey, white, Mr. Oven van, Flint Eye van, RM van, black sexual, grey, sick, black and blue, white, sick, sneezes next to me. The spit goes into my eye, so I wash it with water. Have to change seats on the bus. Red, white, grey, blue, penis up, 12 bikes. Not all together, but deliberately being timed in that way. 2 bikes timed to an erection and Somerset Waste partnership at the same time. Black sexual car, grey, blue, violence top, sexual car. Sorry, after violence top it's a grey van, I forgot about that. And learner car and grey, blue, and started car. Right, 9 loud bikes timed to erection. Bikes timed to erection walking out the shop. Black sexual car, blue car, grey car. And a crow is saying you're being knife dead just, or being whatever repeatedly. Right, so there's been about 60 cars because I had to go back into the shop because they shortchanged me by £5. While doing that, Bird is tweeting you're being knife dead just and repeating all that sort of stuff. The 70 cars roughly is about 80% action set up hard against me, and 2 bikes in the midst of that, timed to erection. Then you had the Up the Age van, followed by the Mike Facey van, Partners in Cream van, and Love Boat car. Love Boat car's a new car name. Right, a Bird's just tweeted you're going to fucking hell just, or something like that. And there's been another 9 bikes timed to loud bikes timed to erection. That might be a 10th, I don't know. Yeah. Right, so there's been a dribbling bow whistle, but almost in a sexual pattern. God wants to be utter nasty and utter fucking spiteful with the voice sounds. Right, so we got sick cunt child molester Justin, fucked Amy Weston when I've never fucked her, busting in Justin, and then a load of voice sounds to say that I'm being knife dead, that I'm a rapist, that you're being beat up, and even mentioning the other neighbour's name in my place. The one I was suspecting of making noise last night. That's not been in a voice sound before. So God's doing it on purpose, spiteful bastard. Saying I'm going to be beat up and fucking knifed down and I'm a sick cunt. So perhaps the creator wants to get his fucking facts right. Nasty fucking vicious fucker. Apart from speaking to Stephanie Hill, Stephanie Jill, whatever her surname is, in 1993, 1994, just before I left Elmwood School, and once at 10-pin bowling in Taunton, if it was her, but if it was, she didn't respond, and they were in a group together. And the couple of times that I spoke in the charity shop, though she's not really very productive in the way she communicates, then I've basically never spoken to her, basically. But I do know her because I know her from school, but she's forgotten me over time, which I'm not too bothered about because she's in a relationship and she's also a single parent now. But the thing I wanted to mention is we got a bird just repeating saying I've had sex with Stephanie, repeatedly saying, but also saying I got to go to the fire of hell for having sex with Stephanie and being in a sexual relationship with Stephanie when I've never been in a sexual relationship with her. So what's fucking going on? What's the matter with the creator? Is the creator fucking screwed up or what? Right, it's about 5 minutes ago since I've done the last recording, and it's just been a repeat where it's come to a sudden stop. A bird tweets saying I've raped Sadie Dando when I've never had sex or never raped her. But there's nothing you can do about it because the creator God's twisted and is not going by the facts. So the evil bastard is just trying to tear the fuck into me with lies that the creator think is true without verifying the facts first. That's the creator God for you. So that's very good in it on Judgment Day when Jesus Christ puts people in hell and God can't get the facts right and causing animals to say this and say that, which is not true. Right, Bird is just repeatedly saying, you fucked up, Justin, fucked up. Right, Birds and Crow just saying, you're not having Yvonne. And to tell me, saying fuck Bab or similar sounds to that repeatedly. Where this Yvonne is the name of a clairvoyant prediction, a reading that I had last week. And she said it's not going to fall through. But we have many things that I need to mention about this. The following day after the reading, in actual fact, as soon as I had the reading, setups were ramming bikes into me and tying to erections and whatever else. Threats, organised force. But the following day, I went out and Yvonne van and No Chance van. Then on the following day after that, they timed vehicles to reconstruct my movement, stop me going on the bus by packing the bus service because it's a cloudy morning to some extent. Then it turned sunny for the rest of the day at Yeovil, circling Yeovil. They stopped me from going to Barrack, putting rough people and threats in my direction, sneezing in my face, every other person. So I ended up coming back, and then the next day I had a migraine. So they got me controlled by my fucking feet. But if this reading falls through, there'll be hell to pay later on. It's got to be done, and I'm going to be in this relationship before Christmas 2024. And she said it's not going to fall through. And she said about the other clairvoyants getting the other readings wrong about girlfriends. This is the most accurate clairvoyant I've ever seen. So if the Yvonne girlfriend falls through, we know who's doing it, don't we? The creator god or the government. All the crooked fuckers out there that are going to just try and destroy me with this movement control that have no advanced technology or been told something from the government. I just wanted to mention that this sunny weather's getting very fucking tedious these days. I mean, even in 2003, you had some form of golden look to the ground from the rays of the sunshine. It wasn't great because even back then the sun was brighter than it's ever been before, but you know, today that sun is just obliterated white everywhere, and also temperatures are just so high you're just soaking wet in sweat every day. I mean, there hasn't actually been a single cloudy day since the 2nd of April 2024, and it's now the 3rd of June 2024. Right, a bird's trying to say that I fucked her. I'm not saying any names, but whoever it is female, I've not had anyone in my whole life. Right, a crow's repeating that word fuck, and the D word that's 3 letters long. So it's just, I don't know what's going to happen next, but that's what it's saying. Sheep is saying, yeah, bike. It's not exactly a very clever interpretation, is it? But you know, I'm only saying what's being said. Well, I've made it to the next stage, but I'm soaking wet in sweat because of this sunny weather, and a bird's just repeating saying that I've had sex with Amy Weston when I haven't. So God's lying, and I'm not going to get sex with anyone that's like Amy Weston anyway. It's not possible. One, you're known as a sicko, even by the face of about 20 years old, top of what she is at the time that I should have been with her. She's one of those really sort of smooth skinned, really soft, you know, the really sort of what used to be known as the hot, sexy type. And she was like top of the list out of all the even sort of sexier than Britney Spears. Kylie Minogue, she was like, you know, she was the one that got in. She dropped her knickers down for everybody basically. She used to have 5,000 friends in her Facebook friends list. Most of her friends have put me down as a sick cunt or threatened to smash me out in the past, before the Savannah and Liam threat came in. And yet, they have been with that sort. I mean, she's like Gabby Borges, the American singer. But even the American singer, Gabby Borges, Amy Weston was hotter looking than that. It doesn't come much hotter, do you know what I mean? So, I don't like it when I'm being accused of having sex with her. There's also a music track released in 2003 that claims I've had sex with Amy Weston as well. And then obviously, on top of that, seagulls and birds are saying because I've had sex with Amy Weston I'm going to the fire of hell. But I've never had sex with her, that's the problem. So God keeps on making these sexual mistakes when he's causing these animals to talk at me with a cursed issue. I'm not sure how busy that road next to me gets because it's only a country lane, but these two old couple that are walking past saying it seems busy this morning. So I'm suspecting they're trying to cause it on purpose, as they usually do, try and get as much traffic or setups or control force and problems in my direction as they can possibly force onto me. Right, there's been another 20 or so loud bikes tied to an erection. I'm not happy to witness this, especially when I've not had sex in my whole life. But there's some like spastics, you know, whatever you want to call them, these disabled people in pushchairs, construction buggies, you know, for those with mental illnesses. You know, they call them spastics. It's not a polite way to put it, but firstly, I've come across a group because this is like a school of them. Only to witness a man, a bearded type chap. In fact, I wouldn't say rough, but it's definitely the type that would mistake me as Savannah and say a few words. Not the roughest of them all. Only on the grass with the basically there's an empty buggy that's next to the path, and I was looking to see what it is. Not an empty buggy, an empty, you know, one of those disabled chairs which spastics go into. He's only got her laid down on the grass having sex with her, and they're making noises as well. So he's only about 25, so he is young, and the spastic that he's fucking is one of those sort of smooth skin types. I don't know if she's a woman or whether she's a child, but it's a very young type person, whoever it is. As shocking as this may sound, there's actually another fucking person fucking one of those spastics, and this time it's a fucking child. Right, it's about 15 minutes ago when I last done the last video, and I just want to give you an update on what I saw. So obviously I gave you those two incidents that I mentioned. The second incident was a female who looks very similar to Britney Spears, but she's only aged about, if I was to guess, I'd say about 25 to 30. I'm not sure exactly what age is, because I didn't actually look. I only just glimpsed, and all I saw was she was on a boy aged about 10, but one of those severely mentally disabled, handicapped types of people that require one of those special chairs. There's another incident after that, but I didn't actually see anybody or hear anybody on that other one. All I saw was an empty, those specifically made chairs for mentally handicapped people, and so I sort of decided to have a look to see what's going on there. And I decided to use this camera and film to see if I could get evidence. But unfortunately, I didn't hear anybody, and I didn't see anybody. It appeared to me that on this occasion, there was just a chair in that area. So it appears to me that when they take these people out on trips, because these school teachers or whatever can't do it like they used to, they're doing it with the spastics. That's just a theory. Right, so I've got upper leg pain where I've slipped with the other foot, and it's caused my other leg to slightly slip, and I've just caused pain, so just mentioning it. The bird's telling me I'm a fucking pedo. Where can I be a fucking pedo? But perhaps the seagull wants to go back there fucking half a mile. Or I tell you, God's fucking corrupt. I mean, really corrupt. I'm getting fucked off of it. You don't fucking treat people as a sick cunt when they've never had anyone in their whole fucking life. But, you know, someone's walked past going, oh. We're looking at 300 voice sounds now. So basically a bird's, fuck's sake, is tweeting you raped her, pervert. Fuck you, or I won't say what it's saying, and then busting in repeatedly. Dogs barking, molested Gemma, just. Right, I'm going to have to consume on the recordings now because I'm wasting battery power, and I've already changed the battery twice, and I don't have many batteries left. But the last 10 minutes, birds and crows, dog barks have all been saying repeatedly what I've already mentioned, with other stuff as well, like you're a child molester, you're being knifed down, you're being beat up, just you raped her and stuff like that, and I get a bit pissed off of it, but there's nothing I can do because the Creator God's fallen. Right, there's me soaking wet in sweat, trying to walk because it's sunny, and when I phoned up the place where I live, there's actually grey cloud. Right, so there's been a loud bike tied to an erection straight after the helicopter sound you can hear in the sky, a tree branch collapsed in front of me, about 10 foot in front of me, followed by an animal, a crow, going ha 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 in that way. I can't really speak loud because there's people around, but I tell you, I'm not very happy about this, I tell you. There's an advert on eBay which shows a girl or very young lady. I think she has a blue top on, long dark hair, and she's smiling. And it's on a new eBay advert. It just occurred. So it's the 3rd of June 2024, and it's the latest advert that's being shown on eBay. Well, she's only past me with a boy aged about 5. She's roughly the same age as that person on the ad, asking that boy for sex. Right in front of me almost, as they passed. As I was doing that video several minutes ago, some bloke walked past and "You're right," as I walked past, so he probably heard it as well. Oh, well, that didn't materialise into anything, but sometimes it doesn't. I'm not sure who the middle person is that was walking in that group that I've just basically audio recorded, but it's not a recording I was going to keep. It's just I'm going to keep it now, obviously, because I want to mention something. 10 years ago, no, 20 years ago, there's this girl that looks identical to this person. I've forgotten what her name is, and she and me sort of spoke, and people said try and get with her. At the time she was sort of younger, a lot younger than me, so it's very difficult to do that. 10 years ago I saw her again. She had like a dark green coat, you know, one of those I don't know what you call it, coats, you know, those ones, those rugged type, you know, not the you know, these farmer type you know, ones, not the ones that are very good looking. But she sort of, they smiled at me. She was with somebody else at that time, and that was the end of that. When I saw her just before I moved from my old place, again, this time around, she didn't remember me, and she told me I'm a sick cunt. And also the person she was with, because people look similar to that person who went to attack me and smashed me in with a knife onto the railway track at Highbridge railway station in April time period of 2022. Although that person looked like that, there's several people that these people know that look like that, and I can't remember his face properly. But yeah, she was with a person that looks like that. Right, so there's 2 bikes tied to erection and a sexual car. Now it's catalytic converter control on a country lane, so let's get through that. Someone's wearing a t-shirt saying "she'll do" in that sort of pattern, and there's got a picture of like a cartoon drawing of a fit, sexy type blonde, smooth skin, you know, model, you know, the type that all guys go for. But it's not actually a photo, it's a drawn picture that's on a t-shirt. But directly after that, they timed an old granny on a Zimmer frame, with the Zimmer frame moving side to side as she was pushing it in my direction, straight after that. And as that occurred, a sea going ah ha 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 ha. Right, so times as I reach the next path, they need to time a granny midget, but they timed a granny midget that's very negative looking, very negative attraction, who's only about 3.5 foot tall. Rather had a threat being mistaken as to then, and there's been a load of people in my direction. Right, I've had to do this a couple of times, this specific recording, because I keep forgetting the date. Because I'm mentioning there's a lady called Sarah that works at St John's Church, who's aged about 50 odd, and she's quite a sexy type, though she has got skin which is more like a granny, and still got like sort of darkish hair down to her chin, basically all around her back of her head, right round to her roughly the length of where her chin is. Where a lady aged about 25 has just walked into my direction, and she's put her head in the dog bin. I thought, what the fuck are you doing there? But she sort of seems to go into the dog bin. She's putting her head right in there, like she's looking for something. So I was sort of looking at her when I passed, and it didn't seem to make any difference. It didn't distract her or anything like that. And I thought, well, why are you doing that? What's the point of doing that? I mean, there's nothing in there, you know, unless she's put something in there that she's lost. And then as soon as I walk past, she's still doing it. But I couldn't quite make that out. However, although she's doing that, she is quite a sexy lady. I can't argue with that. And looks like that lady I told you that was standing at the church door at St John's Church at Yeovil on the 2nd of June 2024, opening service to everybody in Yeovil. So she looks almost identical to that, but this lady's only about 25. But I couldn't make out why she's doing that. When I say putting her head in the bin, I mean literally putting her head right in the bin. I mean, it's not quite a normal thing to do, is it, when you're doing that? But she's obviously doing it for some reason, unless she's on drugs. I mean, she doesn't look like she's a drug type. And she doesn't look like she's a stupid type, actually, when she initially walked into my direction. But I guess she's doing it for some reason. I haven't got the battery power to waste, but I just want to mention that there's been another 50 plus animal voice sounds coming out in the same way as what I've already mentioned on this video today. There seems to be a lot of irritating piss off setups today. But I will mention something. I don't know how they're doing it in this sort of way, causing these sorts of sexual things to occur. I mean, timing a lookalike to someone who sexually abused me as a child, tying to an erection, occurred about 20 plus times a couple of days ago. You know, how are they doing it? How are they getting it to be that many people and to do it in that way? Or how are they getting setups to be? How are they getting that bullet time vehicle timed every single day, every time I reach the end of the road? Or nice shape, 1940s even. How's it being done? But anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. There's a class of school children aged somewhere between about 9 and 11. So they were just walking past them normally. There's a crowd of about 20-ish. And there was two people that were in trouble. So there's a girl aged about 10 and a boy roughly about the same age, I guess. And and the teacher was saying to these two that that you're in deep trouble, and saying that you're getting their parents involved to what they've done. But as they passed, I noticed what the school teacher said to them. They said, well, we're not going to get your parents involved, we're going to let it go this time, but if it ever happens again, they're going to have to get their parents involved. So I don't know what it is, what they've done, but I can tell you now, it's not making a good suggestion, whatever it is. I mean, it could be sexual, it could be something nasty, it could be even something dangerous, I don't know, but whatever it is, when the school teacher is saying that, I don't find that a very, very good suggestion to be occurring. I have to say, this path is a lot busier than usual. There's been another 20 plus people that have passed me. These are just general walking people. Luckily I haven't been sneezed at, and luckily there hasn't been any threats, but it's worth bloody mentioning that it's very busy. Via something just biting my leg. Obviously I'm being cursed with a son, and I've just passed a Lauren lookalike again. Well, kind of a lookalike. And she did smile at me. Yeah, that's all good. But she's actually a single mother with a baby in her sling and a ring on her finger. That's the problem. So if God's going to put a single person in my direction that looks like Lauren to replace the damage that's done of fucking up all the ladies that I'm supposed to be with in the past, then make sure it's someone that's single, yeah? Not someone that's completely stale and a single mother that's been with all fucking hard people and too dangerous to socialise with, yeah. Right, just to recap on this, Lauren, I have to do it on every video because people don't have a clue what I'm on about. There's a specific painting I'm cursed with, and there's an abstract painting that I'm selling at Martok in Nyandles, and it's been in card shops, and it was on the internet initially. Well, it's got a picture of this sexy lady that looks like Lauren, but at a younger age than Lauren, that's doing a sexual pose with her lips, so like a sexy sort of lip. And her body, her legs are in the sky above the cloud, but her body's coming down in a sexual way over this man. But this man also looks similar to a boy with a sort of longish face. And she's sort of doing that sexual look. She's got her hand out, and out of her hand is coming the sunshine that's going on the boy. And it's to make the suggestion that I'm going to curse you with I'm going to get hold of you in the sunshine and give you sex, making that sort of suggestion. And obviously when it comes to my age it's too late, because everyone got me down as sick, or they don't want to know me, or just tell me I'm fucking, you're supposed to be with an old fucking granny, or with someone that sexually abused you as a child, and that's the end of that. Or for saying, oh, you know, it's just as... I won't go into a negative story about it, but I'm not going to get anyone. There's Yvonne that the clairvoyance predicted, but at the moment I'm taking it as a pinch of salt until that day comes where I finally find out that she's telling the truth. She said it's not going to fail, but let's just wait, yeah. Right, when it comes to this specific painting, it's got that, and the sun's only being beamed down on this specific person, where it's cloudy and rainy everywhere else on that specific painting. Now I saw this painting on the internet going back many years ago, so about 2016 area, I can't remember when it was, in the actual time period when I was actually seeing this person called Lauren actually in Tesco's. But obviously she turned against me because she thought I was surveilling. She got in a relationship with this Mike, and this Mike is a rough, hard type person, somewhere around her age to my age. And then they had 2 ginger haired boys later on, and then she fell out with me when she saw me in the street, and she made a couple of remarks here and there after that time, and I didn't see her at all. Anyway, back at the time when it's on the internet, I looked at it then, I saw it on the internet, and then that was it. When I saw it in the card shop at Yandles at Martok, I thought to myself, I've seen that picture before. I didn't take the detail, taking the information of the picture, I just thought to myself at the time, you know, it's soaking wet in sunshine, so I wasn't really paying much attention. I thought, yeah, I recognise that picture, but I didn't look into it, of the suggestion that's occurring on that painting. And then I just walked to the bus stop, and it's the last bus home, and I thought, hang on, I need to get that painting, I need to take a picture at least. And I thought it's too late, I've got to get the bus. Then I went to go on the bus the next few days, and it was just, we went into heat waves in the middle of summer, and I thought to myself, I can't do it today. And then the bus is packed completely, and I thought I don't want to sit with a load of people on the bus, so I thought I'll wait until it's cooler. And when I next went there, I couldn't find the picture, so I decided to have a look on the internet, and they've taken it off the internet as well. So they need to disguise all that information of that sexual curse. And what they've been doing with me every single day, including today, is cursing me with the sunshine for the last 3 years. But I didn't see this until September-ish, I think it is, of 2023, this specific painting on a postcard. So I didn't realise it was a big painting, because it's like an abstract painting. But, you know, that's that. Last week when I saw the psychic at Glastonbury, I decided to put one of those ads in the window. And I was very lucky to get it in the window, actually, because they were a little bit funny about putting it in, and it's just to say that I'm a single man looking for friendship. I couldn't say anything else because they wouldn't let you put it in the window, otherwise they don't these days. They used to, going back to 2005 or whatever, but not today, because it seems politically incorrect. But I just had this woman phone me up, and she's, when she rang me, you could tell that she's one of these zombie looking types straight away by her accent. You could just make her out straight away. One, you could tell she was fat. Next, you could tell she was the unhygienic, dirty looking type. And she actually sounded like she's older than me, but like and had a very low accent. You really could tell. It really brought the accent out. The appearance of her came out in her speech. So I decided to tell her that I'm not interested, without even meeting her, because I knew what she looked like by the suggestion of the tone of her voice and how she was speaking and what she sounded like. And just to confirm that I'm not lying, I'm going to give you my phone number, so if you want to get this confirmed through Vodafone's recorded calls or whatever that are done through Vodafone, my number's 0758 422 3278. Just before I cut into the graveyard, I walked past someone and they're wearing a t-shirt saying something for everyone. Right, a crow's repeating fuck, and a word that's not very good, so I'm not going to repeat it. Tweets today, you dangerous paedophile, fuck you, or I won't say what the name is, and then having a break-in bowl whistled at me in a blowy wet dribbling way, and then a bike tied to an erection. Spit talking's just gone in my face. Although this video is only a few seconds long, I'm having quite a lot of trouble doing it because it's very busy. It's been busy all day. Anyway, in the shop there was a lookalike to the Escort that was on the Elmwood school bus in 1993ish. And she was a granny that was looking after the people that was on the bus, and she also spit talked in my face when she turned around. Obviously it's not the same person because she wouldn't be alive today, but when I walked out of that shop they tied a black sexual car, 4 loud bites to erections while eating, a 5th one. Yeah, there's a 5th one. Someone pretending to speak to their dog says, "Hey, come here. You're a sick cunt. Come here. You're being knifed." So I made it to the church and a bird's just saying, "I'm going to bust in your place, Josh. You're going to get a break in. You're definitely a paedophile, Josh. You're a paedophile, Josh." And basically repeating what I already mentioned earlier on. There's been about 80 more voice sounds in a matter of just under 10 minutes. While coming here, I've had to divert. I've had to go onto the road, which is a dual carriageway, which I've never been on before. Only for about 30 seconds to 45 seconds to get around one area to go back the other way because the path is closed off. Well, basically, to cut a long story short, there is a setup to say that they're going to ripping me to pieces on sexuality and going to stop me getting sex. Well, I've known that for years and years and years, that they're ripping me to pieces and stopping me getting sex with all this control, force and organised crime against me. So yeah, I've known that for years. But what they're saying on top of that is they're saying that they're ripping me to pieces in my next life, and that they're going to stop me getting sex in my next life as well when I'm reborn as a newborn baby and born again in a new life, and basically say that this time around you're not going to know about it, and saying you're not going to know that there's going to be control, force and organised crime that's around you because you won't notice it, and saying that they're going to rip me to pieces without me knowing in my next life, and basically saying they're going to stop me getting sex in my next life. But because I won't have the knowledge that I have in this life, because you'll have a new brain and you won't have the memories that you had in your previous life, they're basically saying that you're not going to know nothing about being ripped to pieces, and basically saying that you're fucking paying for it in your next life and you're going to be ripped to fucking pieces. So that's what they're basically suggesting. But if we go to another setup that occurred roughly about a month ago, they were making the suggestion that in my next life, as soon as I reach the age you can legally have sex, they're going to get a deadly snake or a deadly scorpion or something to kill me, or get someone to knife me down or something like that. So making it clear that you're definitely not getting sex in your next life, and taking the piss out of me, saying that the only sex I'm going to get in my next life is being sexually abused as a child. But if we go back 15 years ago, a clairvoyant said in my past life, that's all I had, is being sexually abused as a child, because I was female in my last life, according to the psychic. And this is just one of the previous lives that she mentioned. And she said that this life's going to be a lot more better. But if we go back just over 15 years ago when she gave that reading saying my life's going to be a lot better in this life, it went the reverse way. It got 20 times worse. And I've still not had sex in my whole life apart from being sexually abused as a child. That's in this life as well. So that's in my last life and in this life. And if I'm going to be ripped to pieces in my next life, then Jesus Christ has committed blue murder, sexual murder on me in 3 lives in a row. But you've got to take into account, not only have I been sexually abused and stopped from getting sex all my life, but I'm also being nailed as a child rapist, and I've got everybody starring on me all the time, every day, with up to 200 threats on a bad day and 200 people photographing me on a bad day. 2022 was the worst this year on record for direct threats. It had some violence. There have been violenter years, but that's the nastiest year for direct threats in my whole life. Anything from 40 threats to 140 every single day almost of that year, 2022. And chases took place, and I was being chased with a knife on several occasions, and I'm lucky not to be smashed out. I'm actually surprised with the amount of threats I got. Nothing I can do about it. But anyway, we go back to that setup. That's what the setup was in that 45 seconds on that road. And I didn't have the camera handy, and the third battery went flat when I went to go and film it. I picked up a love letter, which is next to the stream. I don't know who's left it there, but it's. I I'm going to have a read of it, and I'm going to do a documentary separate to this on my other camera. Rather than photographing the evidence, I'm going to film it because I want to see what it says. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm about to do that now, and I'm going to tell you what it is. Well, I've just had a look at the love letter. The actual paper that is on actually says love letter, so it's faded. It's like paper that you can write on that's been bought from a card shop, specialised paper that you can get that says love letter all across the paper. But unfortunately I can't read it because it's not British writing. You can make out some of the words making the suggestion, but because it's in foreign writing I can't guarantee that either. Like the word to suggest that I want sex together, it's not in British writing, so I can't say for sure, but some of the words, even though it's in a foreign language, do make that sort of suggestion or apply, sexual stuff. So I just have to leave it there on that because I don't know what it says. Because I can't read the letter, I've decided to cancel the recording of doing a video of that specific letter, but I have photographed the evidence, so I'll leave it there. Right, there's an open Bible on the what you call it, the wooden thing. I'm not sure where the thing is, and it's although I don't really need to mention it, I thought I might as well do that. But I got it on the page of Song of Songs in an NIV Bible, which is on page 476, and it just thought I'd mention it. It's just like whether it's a spiritual suggestion or what, but it says Solomon's Song of Songs, "Beloved, let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is more delightful than wine." So I just thought I'd mention that. I went to the thing, had a look at the book, and I thought, you've got a sexual verse at the start. I've never read the Song of Songs in the Bible, and that's what's occurred. But the reason I want to mention that is not only does that occur, but there was a love letter that I found by the water just before that, and that love letter is not for me because this person is foreign and has a foreign language. But it's interesting that the Bible was open on that page when I went up to the I'm not exactly sure what it's called, because I've got to put it back in a minute because I took it down just so that I could read it and keep the book open so that I can make this documentary that I'm doing now. Right, after seeing the Songs of Songs being open on the top thing there, I thought it'd be a good idea just to have a look around, see what Bibles are open or what things are on the wall or whatever. There is actually another Bible that's open, but it doesn't make a suggestion as such, but I might as well say what it says. It says Acts 26:8, fulfilled as they earnestly served God day and night. They have like a child's play area in the church, and there's actually a Bible, a book open. I don't know if it's a Bible or not, and that says, Jesus of Nazareth, the friend of many, he told great stories. And it said he healed sick people and did wonderful miracles. So, yeah, I don't know whether he did or not, but just mentioning the books that are open basically, because I've got nothing to do for a bit. So, it's hot and sunny, and I don't want to walk in that sun and want to cool off for 45 minutes. So that's why I come in the church. There isn't any other books that are open in the church, but what I have discovered is the Mind Cafe that I used to go to. I don't go there anymore, I'll tell you why in a minute. It's actually on there. It says, making sure no one faces mental health alone, Mind in Somerset for a better mental health. Then on the back it says, Mind Line Somerset Emotional Support Helpline 01823 276 892, open 24/7. And Somerset Mind, Sussex Lodge, 44 Station Road, Taunton, TA1 1NS 01823 334 906, which is basically that. So yeah, Mind is a cafe I used to go to up until 2023. I had a few problems in 2022 because I was being mistaken as Savannah, and I stopped going there for certain days, and obviously some of the neighbours go there, including Grace and Hayden. But yeah, things are a little bit more unsettled now than what they used to be, so I don't go to Mind at all. In actual fact, I can't go to Mind. But let's get to the story, shall we? Because what's happened is over time, rough people have been hanging around there, threatening to smash me and telling me that I shouldn't be chasing Grace, basically, which is one of the neighbours. I thought I don't. I've never had any problems before, but and there's a lot of other things as well. So I sort of left it for a time, And then I noticed that the police were there on a regular basis and saying, what are you doing here? And why do you need to go in there? And what's the reason? And all that sort of stuff. So it sort of tried diverting me or trying to throw me off course not to go into the Mind Cafe. But come this year, 2024, it's turned out very nasty. So even the police have told me it's safer not to go in there. And I thought to myself, well, yeah, but the people in there are not safe. And I was sort of trying to explain that to the police. And the police said, it's not for that reason. We can't tell you what the reason is, but we want to keep you away from any danger or any trouble and from getting hurt or anything like that. And we need you to stay away from there. So that's why I don't go to the Mind Cafe anymore. Crow's saying fuck, and I can't say what the other word is, and I'm not very happy about it. There's something I need to mention, but I need to get this audio recorded if I can. No, it's falling out of place, going to normal sounds. Right, so there's been a loud bike to interaction also, and the Crow says you're being fucking smashed out now. Right, I couldn't mention this at the time because there's too much activity around me, setups, animals, you know, just like wild animals like cows and bulls and whatever. So I've only got to the stage where I can mention it now. I've had to leave the church. So the church warden came in, it was a female. She's roughly aged 50 to 60 and told me that I was going to have to leave because what's happening is the wedding is taking place. In a quick general conversation, I said, who's the wedding about between then? And she said, it's none of your business. All I can tell you is it's a teenage couple that are getting married. So I'll leave it there. There's a lady I passed a couple of days ago on this stretch of path. I've just seen her again. This time I didn't look because she didn't say nothing today, but when I looked at her a couple of days ago, I thought she looked around my age but had smooth skin. But I didn't realise she was 33. Because what she said, I can't remember the exact wording that she used, but she said, don't you think it's a little bit sad looking at me because I am 33, you know? It was something like that. Or to say, you know, but it was calm. It wasn't too sarcastic, but it was just a little hint to say you shouldn't be looking at her. She had like dark brown hair, smooth face, aged 33 because she told me her age. Because I'm 43, some people are moaning about the age gap, which is not making it very helpful for me to find anyone I can fancy because people in that age gap are not, you know, my age are not very clean looking and they're very stale, very used, and they're all single mothers and even their children are growing up with children or having babies or whatever, and it's not a very nice thing to put someone through if they've never had sex or had a partner in the whole life. You know, they prefer to have something a bit more fresher, which is what I prefer to have, especially when you've not had nothing, no woman at all, nothing since birth. But you can't do nothing about it because people are stupid today. And they moan about the age gap or put you down as a sicker. It does more than a few years difference in age. So I've had my life fucked up basically. Right, the other problem we have is not only am I 43, but I don't take it to the negative type. You know, what I refer to as a Lisa Pike type. Lisa Pike's a nice person, don't get me wrong. She's friendly, she's nice to know as a woman, you know. But she's not my type, and she wasn't my type at school, that's why I didn't go with her. But I was always pretending to be a girlfriend with her because I didn't want people giving me a hard time over that. But back in those days I thought my time would have come when I was going to get someone, but I was thinking along the lines of more of when I left school rather than being at school. So that's why I pretended at the time that I was in a relationship with Lisa, but I wasn't actually in a relationship with her because I didn't fancy her. And she was always around Daniel Dennis anyway, so people knew that. And they knew that I just wanted didn't want a hard time from people. But not only is Lisa different to me, but she's got different interests to me as well. So we're definitely different in most ways. But like I said, the only really one thing that she's into that I'm into is liking animals, really, animals. And that's really basically it. But anyway, enemies keep on referring me to go with this certain type. It's always a type that look unhygienic. The ones that look like they're laughing backwards in a stupid way in a restaurant, that boast very sociably. And the type that have this sort of rough skin face that looks like it's got warts or shingles disease all over it, or like the chest looks like it's all burnt and rough and I don't know how to word it, but really sort of, like dry skin coming off where it looks like it's all burnt and rough and sore. And also I'm being told to go with a type that look like they have dark, black, greasy hair, and like their mouth is full of tomato ketchup and rotted teeth, and give that unhygienic appearance, and misted up glasses and gizmo eyes or whatever you want to call it, and always fat build. I'm always, and I mean always, being told to go with that type. Even when I was in my 30s, the start of 30, was I told to go with that type, which I can't take to, because everyone's got you down as a sicko if you don't go with that type. But you've got to take into account all my enemies have been with a sexual type, so they're just insulting you all the time. That's all they're doing. But they're getting nasty about it. That's a problem. They're threatening me with murder, to kill me, to shoot me dead, to smash me in, to do all sorts, inject me HIV, to take my fucking life away, to put me into a hospital bed. You name it. But like I said, I can't take to that type. And when you reach this sort of age, you're not going to find it easy to find someone that you can fancy. But it's my enemies' faults that I don't have anyone, because they stopped me getting anyone all my life. And they were pissing about deliberately making teenagers single mothers back in the day, when I should have been with the very few people that I kind of knew to some extent. And they messed up all that as well, turning them against me because they were making stuff up regarding me having sex with children when I didn't. So there's nothing I can do about it. They fucked my life up. Right, so the next thing I wanted to mention, before I've made it to this church, because I had to come to this other church. I'll tell you something about this church in a minute that occurred over the last few days. But let's get through this first. So Jesus Christ was 33 or 34 when he was crucified. And at the beginning of this year, I was actually told that I should be adding people that are older, over the age of 40, by someone moaning about my age on the internet. The oldest person that's moaned about my age in the whole history of using dating sites or trying to find a girlfriend or sex or whatever, whether it's a prostitute, whether it's a girlfriend or whatever, is the age of 38, which was at the beginning of this year. Moaning about my age because I'm 43 coming up 44. But, people stop me getting anyone, so I'm going to get older and older, aren't I? They're the ones, and they're the cause of why I haven't had anyone. And they need to replace it, because it can't be replaced in my next life, because I'm being told by criminal force and suggestions with setups that the only sex I'm getting in my next life is being sexually abused as a child, which is the same as what happened in this life and in my last life, according to a clairvoyant I saw, which I mentioned earlier, just over 15 years ago, who gave me a previous life reading. But anyway, I'm known as a sick cunt if I look at anyone the age Jesus Christ was when he was crucified. I'm known as a sick cunt looking at someone who is 10 years older than someone who sexually abused me as a child, and uglier looking with an older appearance than the age that person who sexually abused me as a child would have been when I saw this lady recently, but not that recently, who looks similar to that person who sexually abused me as a child. Now this lady looked like she was about 30-ish, something, just over 30, and I'm just over 40-ish. So she had me down as a sick bastard because she thinks I'm a sicko because of the age gap. But there's one specific person, I mentioned this the other day, and it's still happening now. She was 18 and she went with someone 41 years of age. After years had gone by, I'm 10 years older than this person, and she's 10 years younger than my age. But at the time she was in a relationship, this person was 10 years older than me. So you've got to take into account she's 10 years on top of the time she was when she had that small relationship with this person and was made pregnant when she was 18. Where when she was 28, she told me I'm a sick bastard and told me to watch the age gap. But if we go back 10 years before that, her age gap was sort of 20 years difference between her boyfriend, rather than if she was to go with me, which is 10 years difference in age. That's how people got brainwashed with age gaps and being told that you're sick if there's more than a few years difference in age. So going back 20 years ago or whatever, being 18, going with someone my age today nearly, wasn't seen as a problem. And yet, with just 10 years difference in age, Even that's a problem. And yet this is the same person moaning about my age today, yet when she was in a relationship with that other person was 10 years older than me, and there's a bigger age gap by 10 years. And she was a younger age, where people get the more sexual looking faces and bodies of a person who's a younger age at 18 rather than 28. So you've got to take that into account as well. The battery went flat and I didn't manage to complete what I wanted to say, but I think I just about managed to explain what I'm trying to say. But let's get back to this more recent issue. I've seen a girl aged about 18, who obviously is a woman, not a girl, because once you're 16 you're an adult, and a full adult when you're 18, or you used to be anyway. I don't know if they changed rules today, but they keep changing it. They changed the age of consent from 16 to 18 when I wanted to go with Susan. Susan was a really sort of sexual looking person who was very similar to, I'm trying to explain how she looked, a more sexual look, maybe a mixture between this Gemma Ferguson and Gabby Borges, the American actress, mixed together, but with really sort of smooth skin. She was 17 and I was in my sort of early 20s, and I couldn't get in a relationship with her because what happened is they changed the age of consent of from 16 to 18. But once they turned Susan against me and it caused trouble on the estate and people to go after me because of that 1 year change, it caused everyone to turn against me and it caused trouble. Well, just 1 year later, they dropped the age of consent back down to 16 from 18 once they had messed that up. And then obviously they started messing up other things, and then because of Scooter's Maria track, they turned that Maria against me as well, who I fancied, and she went in a relationship with someone who looks like the boy from the Harry Potter film. And again, she was very similar age to me, maybe a few years younger. I'm not sure exactly what age she was. She was a bit younger, but she wasn't that much younger, if you know what I mean. But obviously they messed that back up in 2004. And then obviously my life got worse and worse and worse 30 times over as I moved to Bridgewater and West Street and so on. And life just got worse and worse. Threats upon threats upon threats, and threats upon threats upon threats, until we reached the issue of getting 140 threats almost every single day of 2002, at least 40 per day, but up to 140, and the rare occasion of over up to 200 threats per day in that specific year of 2022. And that's every day, not just some days. That was a really, really bad year. And people were photographing me just as many times as the threats, mistaking me as that person's event and saying they're going to get someone to do me over, to smash me in, to kill me, to shoot me dead, to take my life. And I thought to myself, what do I do now? So I was a little bit suicidal back at that time. I didn't mention it back to anybody, but I did mention it in recent times. But I said I'm okay now, because obviously I thought my life's going to get worse and I'm just going to have to put up with being sexually abused in every life. I might as well commit suicide in every life, and I can't help it. But the problem is, if you go on a religious point of view, it's actually a sin to masturbate before marriage. And the way the Bible puts it is, you rejoice with your wife at youth. What do you do when you've been singled out and stopped from getting sex all your life? The Bible's against me now. And obviously if you commit suicide, it's a sin against God, and you can go to the fire of hell forever and ever and ever. But it's the same with masturbating, so you can't win, can you? I mean, I have to admit, it's not very fair, the Bible, but the problem is, when it comes to sexuality, there's been a hard ice, frozen knife put in my back. There's nothing you can do about it. And I've been smashed through the iced up water with an ice axe. And I've been thrown on the fire grate and being pushed into the hot flame. So there's not much I can do about it. There's nothing at all I can do. I'm just going to have to accept I've been violated. I mean, we got this Yvonne that's been predicted by a clairvoyant, but as I've been saying, how am I going to get Yvonne if they're going to set up a vehicle the following day saying Yvonne, followed by No Chance Van? And then the following day after that, they defeat my plans from going out, which could have taken me out of the track of the original track that I was going to be on for this partner. But maybe it isn't. Maybe because clairvoyant's so soon, she's probably even picked up on this bit of action. She did mention that I have got force against me, this clairvoyant. And she did mention that other clairvoyants have made mistakes. I should have asked about the 2011 incident of the carnival when I was supposed to go in a relationship with Sexy Chloe, aged 18, when they caused the fuel explosion, which was on the M5, and obviously the following day's North Petherton Carnival, but I didn't make it because they took it off, and it fucked up the clairvoyant reading as well. And also, nobody found me a girlfriend in the replacement of it. It's just a load of threats telling me I'm a sicko. However, the threats did die down when we came into 2012 to near enough nothing, because everyone found out that people were making stuff out about me of raping Sadie and Stephanie, and there was other neighbours that were in the building that knew who came into mine. They knew about Ian because they saw Ian, who's Ian Dando, that visited mine on a regular basis at that time. So the people knew what was going on. I had my windows open to let fresh air in, and they knew what I was doing inside, knew what I was listening to, heard me snoring. They knew what I was doing. But whatever happened, all these people calmed down, and there's hardly any threats or any trouble at all. It was a mixed side back in those days. Today it's one-sided, where you've got everybody against you. But back then it wasn't. So that's that. It's this church, by the way, where that 14-year-old, or boy aged 13 to 15, I don't think he was as old as 15, came to the doorway with those two girls. Because what happened was, it was either the beginning of this year or late last year, I can't remember when it was now. I did a reconstruction of that documentary of what happened to explain what happened at that time, because the original recording got wiped off of my computer when my computer crashed. But what happened is this child came to the door saying, well, first of all, the girl says, "Oh, why does he have to be in there?" And then that boy says, "Well, we can't do it in there." And at the time, I didn't think of sexuality. I was more in a sort of thinking mood of they were looking to do violence or smash a church up. But it did click not long after they left that what they were doing is a possibility. They wanted sex in there. So the 11-year-old didn't really say much. She had more of a stern accent though. She did say something as she left, so she walked out initially. And as that 11-year-old walked out, the 9-year-old, well, she gave me an evil look actually, the 11-year-old. Quite a hardened look actually for the age she was. Quite a tough, evil eye, if you get what I'm saying. And then this boy said, "Well, I'm not fucking scared of him." He said, I know who it is. He's a fucking paedophile. He's a child rapist. I'll smash his fucking head on that fucking floor in that church. And I'm fucking scared of him. So then he slammed the church door. I said nothing. I thought he's got a cheek to say that, considering he's only that age and I'm in my 40s. And then he kicked the door. And then he opened the door again and said something else. Slammed the door, and then he walked off with his mates, his girlfriends, or whatever you want to call it. And one was aged 9, roughly, and the other was aged 11, roughly. And he was about 14. He looks around about the age of 14, but he could be on the edge of 15, or could be just a bit younger than 14. But I'm surprised at what he said at that time, because it's quite, for a child to say that is quite surprising, especially putting me down as a sick cunt when I've not had anyone in my whole life. I mean, I'm told I'm a sick cunt by all my enemies in the town, and they're twice the age of what he is. And even if I look at the girlfriends that these people are with, that are twice the age of these people that came to the church door, I'm known as sick by those. And 5 years on top of that, because of the age gap. Colour of the skin and the age gap seems to be one of the biggest problems that people are moaning about in recent years, especially since the year of 2012 onwards, but it did start in 2011 when I first noticed it on UK dating sites. The other thing that annoys me is people always digging at me about my age or telling me to go with the people that are not sexual. But all the people that are doing this, they've all fed my enemies good sex when they were teenagers, or smooth-skinned, sexy types of model-type people who look like the sexiest women on the front of a magazine, basically. So that really annoys me. But what's annoyed me over the weekend was doing a walk to Barrack, because I passed a t-shirt saying, "Make love, not war." But before that, and it occurred a few times after this in fact, but before that, they timed a lookalike to someone who sexually abused me as a child timed to an erection. And then after that, after the "Make love, not war" t-shirt, Shortly after, there was a family that walked past, and a teenager was wearing a t-shirt that was saying, "Age is just a number, it's love that counts." And then I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah, you want to start war with me, yeah, go ahead and do that sort of thing. Obviously, these people are not doing it on purpose. It's coincidence, but it's set up in a way where it's being controlled. So if this setup's against me, I can't moan at the people or start on the people, because the people that are walking into me are not doing it on purpose. None of these setups, nearly all of it, apart from when people give me threats or photograph me or give me trouble, then it can be looked at differently. But the overall setup or structural force that's coming out around me in a suggestive way is not being done by the people that are driving or doing that. It's coincidence, but it's being done in a clever way where it's being controlled by the elite or the government or the creator God. And that's what's making it look so nasty when I go out or whatever I do. There's one open Bible in this church as well, but firstly there's something on this piece of thing here. And it says, first reading, Deuteronomy 5:12 to 15. The Lord says this, observe the Sabbath day and keep it holy as the Lord your God commanded you. For 6 days you shall labour and do all work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. You shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter, or your male or female slave, or your ox or your donkey or whatever. So it basically says that. So let's get to the Bible, shall we? It's on the pew. I think it's actually there's another one open as well that's can be read. If there's time before the bus comes, I'll read both of them. These are not pages I've chosen. These are where people have left the page open for the Holy Spirit to send a message to me. Right, on the first book is 2 Chronicles 5:14. He is good, his love endures forever. That's what it says. But there is more on that page. It's on these ones. It's an NIV Blue Book, NIV Bible. It's on page 310. On this book it says, chapter 15, but thou, O God, art gracious and true, long-suffering, and in mercy, ordering all things. Wisdom of Solomon 15 and 16. Yes, so basically mentioning Jesus suffering, I guess, but whatever the suggestion is, it's come out symbolically today, because I haven't opened these books. I haven't gone to certain pages. I'm just sort of reading out what it says. There's quite often these books are open, by the way. It's just that I haven't bothered reading them when I come into the church. But I just decided to do that today, just to see if there's a message that's being revealed. Especially when I've had a clairvoyant reading of a girlfriend of... I have to keep remembering the word one or wrong to remember her name, because it's Yvonne. She's younger than me, this lady, and it's supposed to be quite a sexy lady, but she says it's not going to fall through. But you know, clairvoyants have said that in the past. They've been so wrong in the past that I have no hope on this reading, but I'm going to use it anyway as a weapon to start war if it doesn't come true, because she said it's going to come true, basically. She said this is a guarantee, it's not going to fall through. And I'm pretty sure that the previous reading I had from from Sue Hub back in 2013, she predicted me, I can't remember the name of the woman now, actually, and it didn't come true. So, but you know, that's that, I guess. There's so many readings. Helen and Heather's probably one that she predicted and never came true as well. Gemma's actually one that's been predicted and never came true. But then again, it might not even mean the Gemma that I'm referring to as Gemma Ferguson. It could be someone completely different. Anyway, but whoever it is, these readings have never come true. But this is the most accurate clairvoyant reading I've had, because with this one I didn't mention anything at all about my life. But anyway, I'll leave it there and let you know the latest later on as these transformation phases take place, as this so-called Yvonne comes into my life. Right, catalytic converter stench, HIV tipping offset, drain covers hit over and black grey car. It's been about 50 cars, 80% suggested. When I went to walk up the road a little bit, overhanging trailer trying to rip my legs off, and bird tweets knife dead and is repeating all the stuff I mentioned earlier, and it's done it about 40 times. Wainwright timed the penis upside 2 flights one way, and then a baby in a sled and a buggy, and there's not a coffin on the bus in a fluey type way. Knife-shaped, black and blue Virgo, MK and purple, sexual car, red mix with black car, yellow, sick, black and blue. Somerset Bridge Porsche, black and blue light boner, bike. One life, live it on the car, seems to be coming a lot frequenter lately. Shingles on the face time. Leo van boner, black bikes on bikes, those black and blue cars. Red as well, burner cars. One life, live it. Bagnall's van, bike time to erection, boner and bike time. Grade 6 started car, boner and bike.